Greetings, greetings, family. Yes, we're here at Netta Vital, 25 Brixton Station Rd for your mind, body, and soul. This is our local health food shop. We have supplements, herbs, everything here galore. And guess what? We're here doing a special live for you on IG and for the camera, wherever this ends up. We've got a special being with us that we like to call our brother from another mother, but also he's also Malik Sankara. I was going to say I am.
Yeah, holy goodness.
Right. So, yeah, Malik, we're here. We're going to chop it up. We're just going to get into it. We got brother Mikel behind the camera. He's going to be coming into the shot soon.
Yeah, man, big up, bro.
Yes, and he's acting as producer today. Right? And we are also drinking, Netta Vital's own branded lung cleanser tea. Yes.
Yeah, man.
And I'm going to just say one line. There's a one line on the back of this packet. It says, live through your whole being. What? Neb? Shout out to Neb, yeah?
Yeah,
right,
man.
okay, so the ingredients in this is ginger, eucalyptus leaves, thyme, hyssop herb, mullein leaf and flower, peppermint elecampane, Iceland moss, and Funtamia elastica bark. Serious, serious things. This is going to just deal with anything. And it tastes nice too. How are you finding it, Malik?
It's got a nice balanced taste. Like I ain't got no honey or agave in mine, but it's drinkable.
Well,
you know?
I've put mine with a little bit of raw tropical forest honey, and yeah, just like a little bit of sweetness from time to time. Yes. So Malik.
Yes, my sis.
Introductions as introductions go. You are, I would like, in my opinion, a master teacher.
I humbly appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, if that's how you see it, that's how you see it.
I see it. I've been through 2 of your courses, the university course twice, and it's deep. People. If you've not gone on this course, you're petting.
Jumping class, like I always say, jumping class, man. Yeah. Jumping class, no doubt.
And this, I've never really gone on a course where it's taking you into all the different ideologies, belief systems, and paired it all together and brought it together in one holistic view. Yeah? So that's what made it really special for me, because all the different parts of the course, all the different areas that I've studied myself in the past, it just brought it all together nicely.
Right,
You've done your research, bro. You've really done your research, and I have to really hail you for that, because I know that weren't easy. Can you tell us a little bit more about the course that you that I went on, university?
So like you said, it's called university, and so that's YOU, university. And simply what it is basically information that can be utilized regardless of what spiritual path you're coming from, you know. You said something interesting in regards to it being holistic. And so for me, I've always kind of been interested in that holisticness rather than the fragmented aspects of spirituality that a lot of us adopt, you know. And I get it, because we often come from a religious background, and this is not to dismiss religion or denounce religion. It's just understanding there's levels, you know, there's levels and different dimensions to truth, if you will. And essentially what it is that I bring to the table is not necessarily unique to me. This is called or is referred to as the ageless wisdom. Right? And so this is essentially your teaching. You know, I'm not necessarily telling anything. I mean, I always tell people I speak to the parts of them that know this information already, rather than the parts of them that's trying to understand it. And this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this new class called Escaping the Matrix 101. Because essentially from my own observations, there seems to be a limit in which we go to when it comes to spirituality, then we stop, you know. And oftentimes that is more so in connection to our everyday human life, our everyday, you know, situations. And when you're dealing with spirituality, it's really about transcending the mundane, transcending even what we consider humanity. Now, that sounds kind of out the box, and, you know, what do you mean? It's all about your humanity and so forth. And essentially what it is, when you study these different mystery schools and different theologies and mystery systems, what you come to find is that which we regard as holier than thou at this moment in time was seen as, that's the most disgusting part of you.
Right,
you know,
right,
that's considered the lowest. You know, we talk about our lower nature, we talk about our ego. This was all synonymous with human or human thought, right? And the way I like to break it down is this. We all based our understanding of reality based on our five senses. Yeah. So what we can see, touch, taste, hear, you know. However, these senses only pick up a minute band of frequency, let's say, that allows us to perceive reality. So if we understand it from let's say if we take the universe, for example, and we say that the universe is the electromagnetic spectrum, we only interact with 5% of that, right? Which we call the visual spectrum. And that's what gives you the 7 band of light, which is also your 7 chakras, or the 7 colors of the rainbow.
I love that
right?
link
It's all connected. And so even, I mean, on the third class, we go in it deep, whereby we see these things as this understanding can either be your prison or prism. Right. So something that allows you to reflect light, or something that entraps light. And so going back to this small aspect of reality that we perceive, it's like, for example, a blind man, right? Going around with 5% sight and saying he can see, right? With this same blindness, we go around and try to define, you know, and it's ironic, I've got a patch on right now. You know,
no, I was just looking at that. I was
upgrading,
thinking.
and you know, it's, you know, they say there's only one real eye anyway.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you know,
Very apt.
right. So essentially, like, we're going around defining things based on our limited capability of perceiving such things. Same with our hearing. We know that there's sounds that animals
that we can't
that
hear.
we can't even hear
Yeah,
and perceive.
yeah.
So just on a human level, there seems to be a cap, right? And this is what the indigenous cultures were speaking about in regards to transcending or enlightening.
Yeah.
You know, enlightenment, which is going beyond your human limitation, because it's a human invention. The universe doesn't know what limits are. You understand? Only the human mind does.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And so that human mind is connected. If we start understanding our human mind as our egoic mind, right? Our rational, our logical, our analytical mind, it allows us to maneuver in this matrix or this level of the game or this life, right? But it also presents you your obstacle from accessing that which is beyond this.
Okay.
Because the light that we're able to perceive represents 5%. Everything outside of that light, we perceive as darkness.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And so if you're a spiritual being and you're about love and light, you know, I'm a light being, and all these particular type of references, you're speaking about a very limited source of light. Or what the occultists understood was that the true light was what we consider darkness.
Right.
And so the beginning of all spiritual journeys and all of these mystery schools was all about going into the darkness or going into the hidden, which is none other than going into self.
Yeah.
These are all analogies representing the internal journey. You know, so when we talk about the inner world, the underworld, you know, the special world is sometimes called in psychology when you're dealing with the hero's journey. These are all references that are speaking to a truth that we knew thousands or if not millions of years ago, which is know thyself.
No, that's
Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, all of these classes are designed to give people information that they can go off by themselves and utilize. Yeah. You know, I'm in no position, or I don't present myself as a savior or a guru or a shaman or a healer. right? I just present the information to you that you are able to now access that inner guru or inner shaman or inner healing, because it's all about self. There's nothing outside of you that's prohibiting you or gonna assist you. Right. Again, that sounds very sounds like the antithesis to what we know as spirituality, because it's all about the community, it's all about your neighbor, it's all about, you know, everything outside of yourself. But what we lack, or what we forget to understand, is our ancestors had a very different concept of reality, and therefore their understanding of community transcends our limited understanding of community. What do I mean by this? At this moment in time, scientists are studying what they refer to as the quantum realm. Right? Quantum mechanics and all these particular fanciful names. And these are just terminologies, or what they're trying to probe is none other than what we call the ancestral realm, or the astral realm.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And so what they're finding is in this quantum world is this thing called entanglement, quantum entanglement, where there's no such thing as separation. You understand what I'm saying? You mess with one atom over here or one particle, its polarity is automatically affected. And so when our ancestors were speaking about community, they understood it from a quantum reality, that there is no separation. And so it was less about the external person and more about realizing the holisticness that, oh, wait a minute, you and I are one. So if I was to do something to you, it showed more of my ignorance of that quantum mentality. So you was looked upon as, you're an idiot. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't even belong in this. Like, you really think you're an individual on that level, then you're a fool. Do you understand what I'm saying? But again, this was more intertwined with a quantum understanding. We have more of a relative understanding of what community is, which is based on our human definition, which is always going to exist in polarity.
Right.
It's always going to exist in duality. On this level of the game, there is no wrong without right. There's no good without bad. Hence why we've seen throughout the ages of us trying to come together collectively on a physical level. Our community never existed on a physical level. I'm going to say that again.
Okay.
Our community has never existed on a physical level. The physical representation was always just a representation of something greater.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Or something greater. Because to this day, I can't find a spiritual system that says Earth is the end and be all of all things. That this is where it's at. They all speak to this place as either a school or a passing through. If you go over to West Africa amongst the Yoruba people, they would say that this is the marketplace.
Okay.
And the ancestral world is home.
Is home. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
And so what I find is a lot of people invest here with all their might, and I get it. Like I said, what I speak to is not for everyone. You understand what I'm saying, right? And so anytime I do speak, I let people know, listen, whatever resonates is what you're supposed to take.
Yes.
Run with, dissect, and make it yours. Whatever doesn't resonate, throw it in the bin.
Yes.
It's not for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? We kind of got stuck in this notion that this messiah complex that we have. I want to save others. Do you understand what I'm saying? When in reality, that's still showcasing a level of ignorance. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is no saving others.
It's the easier route, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. We've adopted this we concept because it absolves the I. So all we have to say now is, what we need to do as a people is da-da-da-da-da. What we need to do as a da-da-da-da. Never what I need to do.
We need to come together.
We need to come. No, you need to come together. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that coming together on a let's say a metaphysical level, or we can use the term occult level. And I know that term is spooky and scary to some. 100%. The word occult just means hidden. Right? It just means hidden. And if we go back to what I just spoke about in regards to the light spectrum, right? We only see a small percentage. Everything outside of that is hidden from our view. So when you're dealing with the hidden, you're dealing with that which is beyond this 3D dimension.
Yeah.
So everything in our spirituality was focused on the hidden. It was all about the hidden or the unseen world.
So this is just the reflection of what's going on in the greater scheme of things.
Right. It's always as above,
Yeah.
so below.
Yeah.
We say these statements again and again and again, and that's what it's speaking to. But until you come face to face with your own illusion of separation, meaning your separateness from yourself, or what they refer to as your shadow self.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Until we do the honest work of looking in and saying, okay, these are what I consider myself or me, right? Again, all spiritual schools speak to me, as the problem.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, I want you to understand that there's a difference between a relative understanding and a cosmic understanding.
Yeah.
Relatively, we know we're having this conversation now because of separation.
Yep.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's on a relative level. What I'm trying to do with these conversations is evolve the conversation, right? And deal with deal with it on a cosmic level. Because when I look back on our ancestral wisdom, all they left behind was cosmic knowledge.
Cosmic knowledge, okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Explain that bit.
Cosmic knowledge.
Yeah.
So one of the primary functions or primary foundations in all indigenous spiritual cultures was preparation for death.
Right, okay.
It was always focused on, right, you've had your time here, now you're going back to the
What's
real.
going to happen
How
when we go?
do you prepare there?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can take it back all the way to ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
And we see that they were fascinated with this concept of death, right? In the occult mysteries, they speak about the practice of dying before you die.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And again, this is more speaking to the understanding of your true self, which is connected to the cosmic reality, right? Rather than your relative understanding of what self, which is connected to this physical life.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So again, even though we're making the distinction, understand that the relative and the cosmic, they represent varying degrees of the same pole.
Okay.
Right? Varying degrees of the same pole, because if we're really talking about in an ultimate sense, there is no separation. So how can that possibly be?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? But we're bringing it down for a relative understanding to navigate here. Our relative understanding is to make sure that our humanity is in check. The light bill's paid, rent's been paid, I got food in my system, in my body. Now I can do my true work.
Yeah.
It's now because it's 180 now.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's all about the physical, and I'll do my spiritual on Saturday when I'm off work. You know, when I'm no longer working, that's when I'll do my meditation.
Yeah.
When I have time. Whereas spirituality is a 365-day event.
It's all day.
It's not-
It's everything. It's what your spiritual being. So,
Right. Do you understand
I
what
mean,
I'm saying?
this whole body is part of your spirit. So everything you're doing is part of the spiritual.
100%, 100%. And it's to add on to that. When we see, you come across certain schools of thought that speaks to the human body,
Yeah.
you know, and what it represents. And you're absolutely right. As above, so below. You know, as within, so without. But when you're dealing with your physical selves, you're dealing with your slowest
Yes.
identity.
Yes.
When I say slowest, everything in this physical realm, or what we perceive as physical, is simply energy vibrating at a certain speed,
Right.
right? The slower energy moves is the more dense it becomes, the more physical it becomes. The faster, or, you know, the faster it moves, it's more etheric or more spiritual. So it's more, they have, our ancestors had a scientific understanding on this.
Yeah.
And so when they was dealing with the body, it was 100% for utilization to access the higher realities. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't to be stressed about your everyday ins and outs. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
It was used as an instrument. That's
it
what I
was
say.
used as an instrument.
Yeah.
But so we live in a society now that is predicated on this physical understanding of what it is to be, you know. And as much as we would like to blame the government, you know, we would like to blame the European,
Yes.
We would like to blame everybody outside of ourselves for our disposition. And again, I understand it on a relative level. I started in our history,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Then I went into our mystery.
That's same with me.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And there's a difference between the two. You have history,
Yeah.
and then you have the mystery. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so on a historical level, on his story level, you're made out to be a slave.
Yeah.
And everything that you are suffering from now is because of them. We don't understand that this actually empowers the very system that you say is responsible for your downfall is empowered when you make that observation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The reason being is because you create your reality. This is some of the stuff that I'm going to be going on in the class, Escaping the Matrix 101. There is no matrix outside of yourself. You formulate the matrix just by your very thought process. Just the way you think sustains this.
Even just coming to that self-realization feels like a death.
Oh, 100%. 100%, because you have to let go of what you thought you knew. And especially if you consider yourself spiritual, you would have done all the yogas, all the spiritual baths, you would have done all the dietary plans, the breath works, and still end up in, you understand what I'm saying? And
still be like, hold on a minute, why am I
what's
having
going
this
on?
packet of crisps and
understand
crying
what
into
I'm
my
saying?
pillow?
And that's showcasing that the fundamental problem is not outside.
Yes.
The fundamental problem is our relationship with this human identity.
Yeah.
Our human identity is forever going to be on the pendulum swing of good and bad. You can't have a left without a right. So the more we try to find this peace or this righteousness, right, on a physical level, is the more out of tune that we are with our true spirituality. We've now begun to fight how our so-called oppressors have fought. Do you understand what I'm saying? We no longer fight our own fight. We fight via the tools and methodologies that have been laid out for us to fight with. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So again, relatively cool. Listen, I've been on all the marches. This ain't new to me.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I've done that school of thought, and I understand the necessity for those who feel like it's necessary. Go ahead. This is not my way is the highway.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? Always leads to this understanding, which is self. However, there are levels.
There are levels.
There are levels. And what takes place, what I've seen over the years, been in this game for over 19 years. And every 3 to 4 years, there's this kind of new awakening of individuals that's just come into knowledge of self, And that's good. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. But what takes place now is, because there's no connection with the past, there's just a revamping of what was already done.
Rather than building on what
Rather
others
than building.
have done.
Right.
Yeah.
And that building is, again, transcending this level of reality. I know it sounds spooky, but this is your sacred spiritual science. It never dealt with it. It dealt with the unseen that formulates the seen world. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Meaning everything in this room has come by way of someone's thought process.
That's definite.
Is that simple?
Everything.
Everything is made by way of thought. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so we take that understanding and we try to craft out a good, positive life. We do our money mantras. You know what I mean? We do our rituals to get better jobs and all these particular type of things. By all means, do as thou wilt. But remember, there's levels.
Yes.
There's levels. And there is only one way out of what you call the matrix.
Yes.
Or what you call the government.
Thank you.
Or the oppressor. There's only one way out.
And we all end up going to that space.
Right.
Whether we act upon the knowledge that's there or not is another thing.
No doubt. Because it's predicated on you having to face the final boss.
Yeah.
And that final boss is called self. It's you in the mirror.
Right.
It's your self-doubt. It's your ignorance. It's your grief. It's your trauma. You understand what I'm saying? It's your lack of belief. These are all your demons. You understand what I'm saying? These are all your demons, and all you have to do is trace religion, You know, one of the earliest forms of religion is Zoroastrianism, or however you pronounce that. You know, which is dealing with the Persian mythology and religion, and these are like the earliest signs of where you start to see the concept of evil being perpetrated as a physical being.
Oh,
Prior to that, or even within that doctrine, the translation of these evil beings translates as evil thought, evil mind, or evil action. It was nothing outside of the individual. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so this is a very well-known occult understanding. This is one-on-ones. There is no devil outside of you. The same way there is no God outside of you. But again, if you need a God outside of you, one will be provided.
That's right.
Because as a man thinketh, so shall it be.
Yeah.
And so within this class of the Matrix, I'm going to be showing how.
Tell them the date.
So this is so the class is on the 8th of December. That's a Sunday, 3 to 6:30. Those of you that know me and those of you that follow me, I expect to see you there. Yeah, because I see you. I see you, right? I get all of these DMs about these fantastic posts and all of this information. I'm like, come class.
Come class.
You know, come class. And, you know, I've made it very accessible, very accessible. It is at Natir.
No, your IG.
Oh, my IG. So IG is Bad Guru, BAD HGURU, Bad Guru.
Yeah.
I change it every 6 months or something.
I see that.
You know what I mean?
I see that. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's changed it.
No underscore. No. You know, no underscore. One word. So if you want to hit up the page, and again, like the journey's been so real for me, where I got to a place where, like, my true understanding is nothing will trump when the student is ready.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The student is ready. And so as much as I can promote these classes and this information, until you're ready for that upgrade, for that transformation, then you will find me.
Seek and you will find.
When I say find me, again, I'm not the only individual that speaks to this information. I might not be your cup of tea, and that's absolutely fine. But make sure you get this information.
You know something about the actual university course that I was on? I realized this man's channeling, and you're channeling now. But was it intentional the way that you laid it? Obviously, you designed the course, but was there any other reason why you went through it in the way that you went? What the order that you took us through?
Right.
Because, and I'm saying that because it's such a perfect title, university, because what I felt like I was in whilst I was on that course, it felt like I was remembering.
Right.
And it's the way that you teach. Yeah. I've done lots of study before, it's here and there, but to go into the depth that you have and pull it all together like that is like, oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's all you're constantly doing through the whole thing.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And it's like you're just reawakening things.
Right. 100%.
Yeah. And then you're taking us a bit deeper and even pushing the boundary a little bit further. So I just want to know the order in which you took us through the course over the few weeks. It was 4 weeks, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah. 4 weeks. Yeah. It's a 4-week course.
The lessons.
Yeah. No doubt.
What was going through your mind when you designed it that way, and the reasoning behind it? Yeah.
Right. So that's a loaded question. So this whole course has come about by way of a 19-year journey.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I've tried to cram 19 years worth of studying, experiencing, understanding, knowledge, wisdom, and all of these particular things, failing, you know, mistakes, all of this good jazz. Because before I even get into that, this is what I want people to understand. When we're dealing with spirituality, we're dealing with a holistic sense of being, a holistic or a oneness. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so all parts of you are involved in your transformation. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's no aspect of you. In fact, the aspects that you consider the worst are often the ones that contain the greatest jewels. And these are the aspects of ourselves that we run away from. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hence, we don't get into our true spirituality. But in regards to the university course, it absolutely has come by way of channeling energy, spirits, beings, whatever, you know, terminology that you want to utilize. And I don't say that in a gloating way, because we all have access to that.
We do.
That's why I actually teach on the course. This ain't no spooky,
No.
I'm the mystic man. No, this is
Yeah.
your information. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so throughout the course, the first course is the perennial philosophy, which I just showcase multiple religions, multiple schools of thoughts, from, you know, African spiritual traditions to Hinduism, Buddhism, Kemetic science, Christianity, Islam, you name it.
Yeah, we went
I
through
put
it.
it there
We went through
just
it.
to showcase that this story is one story.
Yes.
They're
that's-
actually saying the same. There's only one thing that's going on in
Yeah.
these stories. Once we understand that one story, I ain't going to tell you that you have to come to class for that. Once you understand this one story, I bring it closer to home in the second class. How do we explore this story from a psychological level now, right? Because we start to explore that these myths or the mythology is none other than a representation of internal processes.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's really, when you're reading these mythologies, religions, or whatever it may be, and you know, you come across a Christ savior or this figure, you're reading about aspects of yourself. That transforms the game. Any book you pick up and you read from that perspective, oh, you're in a whole nother dimension.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Nothing spooky, but speaking about a different level of perceiving.
So it's like unlocking doors within
Right.
your own being.
Right, exactly.
Like
exactly.
you're accessing levels of information within yourself.
100, because
Yeah.
you know this information, and what I'll touch on after is why we forgot this information
Yeah.
and how we forgot this information, and you know what this process is. And so once we explore this one story on a psychological level in the mind, what it refers to us, the work that we have to do, I'll bring it even closer to home, and we explore it on a biological level,
Right.
to showcase, listen, when they say the journey is within, whether you're looking at it from a spiritual, a mental, a emotional, whatever it may be, it always has references within inside. And so the third class is called Electromagnetic Spirit. So the second class is The Alchemy of Understanding, right? And that title came by way of my own work with shadow work or ego, and understanding that the true depth of the ego is in understanding it.
Yeah.
There's no getting over your humanity
Yeah.
or your intellect. It's your
No
vehicle to
slides.
explore.
You know,
Yeah.
you actually have to.
I know bro in the back, you know, Mikhail speaks on these particular things. I've heard him speak on it. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's the understanding. And all you're trying to understand is self. And that starts with an honest and open conversation with self. Oh man, I ain't the flyest person in the world, man. I didn't always get the girl. You know, I can't play basketball like a next brother. You know, all the little self-doubts that you have is what you want to address, you know, and it starts off small, but then that takes you on a journey. Well, when did I first have this thought?
That's exactly
You know
what
what I mean?
happened.
When
Exactly
did
what
this
happened.
first arise? Oh, this is going to take you back into your childhood.
Yes.
You know, and so in the second class, we explore all of this. Carl Jung, the psychology, analytical psychology, the 12 archetypes, all of this information is in that class. We move on to the biology to show you, look, the chakras are lined up with actual glands in your body, how they relate, how you open them up, all of these particular information. And then in the fourth class, it's called subconscious magic. So
And
once
that
you know
was-
all of this information, it's now, okay, how do you activate this? Because again, in all of your spiritual traditions, because I don't want to make this separation. We talk about the ancestors like they were back then. They're right here.
Right here now.
Right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so your information speaks about spirituality in a very real way. This was about becoming. This wasn't about regurgitating and sounding like you know something and sounding deep. This was actually about becoming. You understand what I'm saying? Some of the stories are still left behind. I mean, you read about Shango and how he was a king and then he became an Orisha. We missed that part. We're like, yo, this physical being actually became an Orisha. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
I want to know that.
How?
Do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? And so all of our spiritual schools speak to this as a real realization. And so in the fourth class, subconscious magic, because it's all dealing with your subconscious mind, you know, every ritual that you do, every mantra that you do, every spiritual practice that you do, you're trying to bypass this conscious mind, this logical mind, this rational mind, and get in touch with something deeper.
Yeah.
A more spiritual, refined mind, which in this 21st century is known as the subconscious mind.
Yes.
You know, this is the place of your wholeness.
Yeah.
But like you said earlier, it's a scary place.
It is.
It's a very scary place. And I know this firsthand.
And it don't matter
you
how
know.
much you read,
No.
don't matter how much you. Yeah.
No.
When you have to face you.
No doubt, because it's a death, like you said, right? There's a saying which is, oneness to the soul is the abyss to the ego.
Right.
So if we understand our ego as our intellect, or even we take it a step further, our ego as our inner child,
Yeah.
right? It's responsible for our very survival. It's what keeps you alive.
Yeah.
That's his main goal, how to stay alive. And so anytime you seek to change a habit or behavior, right, it's automatic defense mode. Wait a minute. If I no longer do this, am I still me?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And that question of what is in me, who am I, how am I, where am I, what am I, are the real questions that we want to be answered. And funny enough, once we go through this, because again, I understand coming from a Pan-Africanist historical perspective first, we're very much caught up in the notion of they're killing us now, the economic system and the poison in the food and da-da-da-da. And as long as you stay out of your science, is the more of the continuation that this will take place. Right. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. The only time I've seen in history that we've become free as a people was in Haiti.
Right.
I didn't see them protest.
Right.
I didn't see them, write documents and do, they dealt with their spiritual science.
That's right.
You get it?
Yeah.
And this is not necessarily to say, because the way in which it was practiced for then was for then, and it was needed for then. We're not overcoming this reality or this government or the as out there.
Yeah.
We're not picking up arms. We're not doing it that particular way. That's the physical way, and that's the way that keeps you entrapped. And this is why they perpetuate certain. So it's well known that all of this is dealing with the subconscious mind.
Yes.
Yeah, that your subconscious mind produces your reality. You understand what I'm saying? What you subconsciously believe manifests.
Right.
Yeah? Even if you're consciously not aware of it. The way you affect, speak to, or program the subconscious mind is, there's many ways, but one of the three main ways is repetition,
Yep.
symbols, and trauma. Right? Trauma, we see trauma all day, every day.
All day, every day.
Right? There's a purpose to that. They're simply just using the science of what they know taps into your subconscious mind. Because the more you're in fear, right? And we can sit and say we're not in fear, but your anger is a representation of your fear. Because once you know yourself, once you know the spiritual science, or you're walking out there with a smile. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah?
True.
And again, we've forgotten the science of death. And so anytime our community faces death, there's a traumatic response rather than a spiritual response. You understand what I'm saying? I don't see a communion coming together and say, let's talk to this individual. If you're in spirituality, you should be able to talk to spirits. Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? And nothing spooky. You have to understand that what the language of spirit is none other than symbolism.
Symbolism, yeah.
Symbolism. Right? And symbolism is going to speak to an individual in a very unique, precise way. So what you see and how you communicate with spirit may miss me tenfold. I will never see how you see it.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
And that's something I've actually picked up along the way as well, because I'm looking at a pot boiling and the bubbles bubbling, and I'm looking at it and seeing symbols. It means something to me. No, so when someone's telling me that they've seen this vision or this, or they've gone outside and they've looked at a puddle and then something spoke to them, the intuition, I don't doubt it no more.
Right.
Because that's how that's their tool.
No doubt.
In the game.
100%. 100%. It's going to be unique to the individual.
Yeah.
And you want to keep in mind that, because listen, the more I speak to individuals is the more I see God in action. You understand what I'm saying? The more I see God in action. Yeah. And so, like, I speak to us as a people all day, every day, and I see the divinity. Yeah. Right? But because it's being channeled through a human perspective, it's very limited, or it becomes limited. So people would have dreams all day, every day.
Yes.
Right? Don't go this place, don't talk to this, or this happened in my did this and so forth. They're constantly having access, right? They're having access to spirit, but the way they channel it is
how
through
they interpret it.
Right, that's what I'm speaking to. Their interpretation is through their five senses.
Yes.
It has to make sense here.
and based on their experience and where
Right,
they're at
right,
right now,
right.
it could even be how well you are in your spirit.
Oh, yeah,
in your
1,000,000%.
actual body, your
Yeah, yeah.
physical body.
No, a million,
Yeah.
a million percent. And so
Yeah.
again, like all of this, all of the lessons that I touch on and speak on are ways in which you can remember
Yeah.
your true selves. Do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And if anything I say resonates, it's not because I said it. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is your truth.
Yeah,
You know, it can't be no other way.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You are always in tune with spirit. You're always in tune with the unseen world. But again, the way we have our relationship with it is what limits it.
That's
we don't
it.
we don't have confidence now in our true selves.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We're invested in the doubt. We're invested in the illusion. You know.
And would you say that's a lifelong game in that sense? Being able to trust it, because
Right.
there's days when I fully trust it. I'm walking and I feel
Yeah.
and then there's other days I'm not.
Right. Yeah.
So is it gonna be like this the whole time?
I
This
guess.
back and forth thing.
So you're speaking on the concept of duality,
Yeah.
which is the nature of this place. Hence why the further you go back in our mystery schools or indigenous teachings, they saw this place as a place to never come back. All right? Remember, in Buddhism,
Yeah.
what's the first precept in Buddhism?
Yeah.
Life is suffering.
Yeah. That's
This is one of the most happy-go-lucky ways of life or religions or whatever you want to call it. Life is suffering. That's the first precept. And so, you know, the whole concept within that school of thought was getting off the life, death, and reincarnation cycle.
The cycle, yeah.
Yeah?
So-
This is what is called nirvana.
yes,
Do you
Nirvana.
understand what I'm saying? Coming off of that thought. So now, to kind of demystify that a bit, you're always speaking to levels of consciousness,
Yeah.
right? The universe is mental. All is mind, the universe is mental. All is mind is simply saying the mind is all. This is coming from the book, The Kabbalion, which is a Hermetic text, which makes it a Kemetic text, which makes it your text.
Right.
This is your information. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so what you're speaking to, so within that book, they speak about this concept of being the pendulum swing,
pendulum,
yeah? And your aim is to be in the middle. Neither
path, yeah.
woeing in the negative pendulum swing or the positive.
Yeah.
See, this is what we miss. See, we bask when the shit's going, you know, when shit's popping, yo, this is the greatest. It's because I've done my yoga, man, and I, you know, my green tea, and you think you're doing spirituality. Whereas the true understanding is to be centered or still in neither polarity. Now, this is going to go beyond past more people's
unmovable
notions.
peace.
An unmovable peace, right? An unmovable peace in which bro speaks to.
Yeah.
And that speaks to, is that the Asar principle, yeah?
Amen.
Amen, sorry. Amen, yeah? Amen or Amun, right?
Yes.
Which is dealing with what? The hidden. Which is dealing with the oneness. After Amun, you get the duality.
Yes.
And you're always going to be playing the game, right? And so the end of the war happens when you stop fighting.
Yeah.
So when tomorrow, when you're feeling low, guess what? I'm feeling low.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting it. I'm not resisting it. I'm not crying about it. I'm not trying to yoga it away. I'm not trying to green tea it away. I'm just understand because it's bringing up something. Your emotions are speaking to you.
Yeah.
And remember, everything that you experience is based on a prior thought.
That's it.
Your whole day is predicated on what you thought 4 months ago.
Yeah.
But because we've lost the understanding of how everything's connected, we just think we're having a bad day. No, you had a bad, this is the cause. And that's another law in the book, Kabbalion, cause and effect.
Cause and effect.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And so for me now, how I deal with that is
Law of consequence, you know.
law of consequence,
Yeah.
but understanding that if I sit outside of this pendulum swing and just observe, I'm observing the one energy,
Yeah.
right? And my mind is directly connected to how I experience the universe and how the universe presents itself to me. They're fully connected,
Yeah.
right? And so I can't think a thing and it not have an effect in the universe. That's the law of cause and effect.
That's it.
Everything has a cause and everything has an effect. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so when I shift my perception in those moments of lowness or in situations that may not necessarily see seem positive on a physical sense, I apply my spiritual understanding.
Yeah.
Oh, this is oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, and you
There's
find
a-
that period of being down gets shorter and shorter, actually.
Right.
Because you're getting more well practiced at it, being more of the
100%.
observer rather than letting it affect you.
No doubt. But you
and
have
you do
to
have
go
to
on.
feel it.
I was just about to say
Yeah,
that.
you do
You
have-
have to. It's like you know, you go to Alcoholic Anonymous,
Yeah.
and the first thing you have to do is admit that you're an alcoholic
Yes.
in order to overcome this situation. And so when you're dealing with this shadow work, right, you're coming into a position whereby you're now observing all of these thoughts and emotions, and that's why I said it starts with you being truthful and honest with yourself.
That's
Why
the
do I think
hardest
these?
part.
It's the heart. It's gonna be. It's
'Cause
designed for that.
You know, we are very good at lying to ourselves.
Oh yeah,
And I find the more intelligent you are, the better your lies are.
right. Because what's that? That's the intelligence or intellect
Yeah.
is the egoic.
And it's not that you even know that you're lying sometimes. Sometimes you're like, yeah. This is, it's cool. It's this.
This
And it's later on you get the lesson, oh, it weren't that at all.
right. This matrix that we're in is a very subtle one,
Yeah.
right? That is that some people will describe it as an unseen prison. Do you know what I mean? You're so encaged, you don't even know that you're caged up. Do you understand what I'm saying? And again, it's gonna revolve around you letting go of some precepts and concepts that give you a foundational sense of self.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying, right? And that's going to be unique to you.
Yeah.
What you go through and that causes your transformation. Somebody else might look at that and go, was that it?
Yeah.
It's likewise with me. I've been doing that. How comes I ain't had this realization?
Which is why there's no, I'm higher than you,
None of
No,
that.
everyone's got their own game. You know how
100%.
like children today, they got their own video game attached to their own TV.
Right.
Yeah?
100%.
Everyone's on their own game with its own levels. So
right,
you might have
right,
clocked a
right.
level that I did way back, and then I might have clocked a level that you've just only completed.
We've got a question here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's asking, in the age of artificial intelligence, the matrix coming to life in reality, how does one balance staying alive in Western society and also staying tapped into the Ma'atism spiritual principles simultaneously?
That's
Okay.
a big one.
How do you keep
That's a big-
Ma'at whilst being in the matrix?
Right. So again, it's understanding first and foremost the nature of the matrix. How does the matrix operate? How is it produced? Do you understand what I'm saying? And again, within this class that I'm doing, is breaking down the mechanics that showcases your very thought process is what creates this matrix.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? We have to get out of the illusion that the matrix is something outside of ourselves affecting us.
Yeah.
Right? It's produced by your very own thinking, right? It's a level of consciousness. And so in regards to, artificial intelligence, and I have my own take in regards to, what this, AI, you are the real robot.
Oh, yeah.
Your humanity is the thing that is designed to be programmed. When you understand what the body is, it's designed to
So
be
true.
programmed.
Yes.
Your mind is designed to be programmed. So the question is, are you the programmer?
Are
Or are
you,
you being programmed?
or in
Do you understand what I'm saying?
the words of are you a human or are you a divine being?
Right. So
It's the same question, right? Yeah.
100%. So for me, my response to that is always going to be what they've been saying, which is the ageless wisdom: know thyself. The full quote of that is know thyself, and you will know God and the universe.
Right.
Are we really trying to know that? So yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so the class on December 8th, Escaping the Matrix 101. Again, I'm going to be dealing with this information from a psycho-spiritual perspective so we can fully understand what the nature of the Matrix is and how we really interface with it. It's again, I always deal with the mystery. The mystery, right? That mystery is my story. We're saying history is his story, mystery is my story. Right?
yeah.
And it cannot be told by anybody else other than yourself. So So again, it's always going to be related back to, are you doing the inner work to know self?
Yeah.
Because that will give you the keys on how to navigate this matrix. So Sunday the 8th, come down. The Nirvana Maat Center, you know the address for that? I don't know if
It's on Ephra Road.
Right.
But you'll get all the details at the link in your bio,
Yeah,
right?
you can go to the link in my bio and see all the information there. So come down 3 till 6 Sunday. Yeah, man, go ahead and pass through.
So that's us at Netta Vital, 25 Brixton Station Road. And thanks for joining us. We've got Bad Guru, at Bad Guru, yeah? Malik Sankara, Matrix 1, Escaping the Matrix 101 on Sunday, the 8th of December. So come down, link in the bio.